Thank you very much. And my name is Thabkhe. I am from Serach Monastery. So I grew up watching Minor Life dialogues and a long time, and I have been participating in Minor Life since 2009. So although sometimes very hard to catch, they are gigantic. The English is sometimes very too hard. Anyway, so it's to be very, very honored to thankful to be here with you today. So okay, can you have my okay. Yeah. The question today I'm going to explore is basically you already most of them is already discussed, which is really is can we combine to the ethical value, especially to the circular ethics and His Holiness wishes, with the development of AI in technologies. And I would like to begin quote with His Holiness. We can combine our brain with our heart. Intelligence alone is not enough. Compassion must be guided. So I think this is a very much all my talks. So in also like the traditional Buddhists, we are always talk about to the wisdom and the compassion must be together, and especially if you truly to cultivate into the compassion and the wisdom ultimately come up, and the vice versa to wisdom too. Um, so I think it's the okay. No, sorry, go a little back. Go. Yeah. So and this morning and other times I've heard about the AI is becoming sort of like Professor Luke mentioned about sort of new God, which is knows everything and they do many things like some of our colleague mentioned. So it's maybe not now, but many experts believe there's even more, the kind of like capable, the technical like AI, what called the AGI or super intelligence is coming soon. So we can sense such that of intelligence the mission come up. We all agree, like my colleague already discussed about, we all agree those all technical should be to the ethical prime. Otherwise, it's going to be, we cannot imagine to the consequences. So in that sense, but then when it comes to the ethical, it's a little problematic because my colleague already discussed about that disagreement, it's an agreement. So the best solution, in my view, is there's a wonderful offer His Holiness did is circular ethics, which is really kind of inclusive and universe as non-relevant certain religions and cultures, which is really wonderful. So what basically His Holiness is saying is there's two pillars most important. One pillar is we should know recognition of shared humanity, which means we all share a reason why we should work together, because we all share to the same expression. We all want happiness, and as long as possible, we all don't want to any tiny bit of suffering. So that even including to the small insect, so that we share to the same kind of like humanity. And the other thing is we already discussed a lot about interdependence, and also knowing the interdependence is so important. The people who are like top level is should know to their well-being is dependent upon like us, like me even. It's somehow will get back to you. Whatever the make you did is consequence will become you. So these things. And the other thing is His Holiness wonderfully proposed three criterions that sort of whether certain kind of actions, whether that's ethical or non-ethical, which is the kind of a society or common sense. And then other one is the individual human experience and also scientific finding for the beneficials. So the compassion is a great example. All this combines. When it comes to the scientific evidences, there's a lot of the evidence is showing all the beneficial of compassions, not only to the spiritual part, it's mental well-being, physical well-being, even in now talking about the business and the leadership. So, so we see there's foundations. So the question is, how can we apply those sort of ethical value into the society of AI? So I would suggest just 3 points. One is we could have to people who are creating those systems to learn more ethical values or to practice more compassion training or kind of this, which is really embodied ethical value into the development of AI systems. So the second one is if I my understood lots of the professors, and what we get from AI is what we put into there and train it. So in the much of the material and the data that are available is, I think, is mostly West oriented and also dominant over the English languages. So we could infuse to other kind of like a contemplative material or a compassion tradition culture of material to put into the AI systems. So the third one is most kind of like kind of exciting, but I don't know, which is really is we try to wisdom and ethical value emerge into the AI technical systems. And here's the one is the ideas contemplative AI. So here's the one of the new paper that's written by many scientists and producers and the contemplatives. You can see there's three pictures drawn wonderfully. And the first phase they draw is contemplative practice, which is we used in the 1,000 years ago. But the second one is neurophenomenology. So was developed, many of you at here and the Mind Alive, and including a lot of neuroscientific investigation, and particularly integrate to the contemplative practice with the brain science. The third one is looks like we are going to and have soon sort of like a meditator of the kind of mission or something like that. But what I wish is there some kind of a third kind of like the third phase of artificial intelligence with the first phase of a contemplative practice, something come up to very new sort of like technology or whatever you call, which is very useful for the humanity. The contemplative practice, and based on that papers, could be explained two ways. One way is their idea is to come up with a completely new architecture of AI that potentially can be contact more wisdom and the compassion into there. They call the active inference, which is to me is very exciting. But I don't know, it's very new research, and also not sure how it works. That's the thing. And other things, they're also suggesting trying to put the currently to the wisdom into the current architecture of AI, for example, large language model. So, but that it's the problem is it even we try to put the ethical system into that models, but it seems like kind of like people who are reading to the monastery map as not living in the monasteries. So that's it's a little problematics. So the challenge it's this whole I think is a theme is we are like how to imbibing to compassion and the ethical value into the AI, because primarily, especially like tradition, the Buddhist tradition come up is compassion, all these things, experiential quality of the consciousness, which is only emerged from the embodied of mind, while AI is disembodied, come from computational product of the software or mathematical tools. So it's how can we reconcile those such different to knowledge together? So before we come such a dim kind of AI, which is I wish, but here's some of my suggestion too that can be practically beneficial. And one is many Buddhist practice are highly relevant for the creator and user and regulator, such as compassion training and mindfulness. We all know. Then other one is we should encourage to the AI users, like especially this morning, lots of discussion about the children's and the families, to be aware or mindfulness to kind of like too much too much attachment to the using or too much dependency on the to the those AI tools, and even addict to kind of this. And lastly, to the monastic debate. And also yesterday or something talk about the philosophy of the school program, which is exactly the in the our monastic tradition, we're just doing the debate. It's a it's a trying to kind of like something different idea come up. It's the goal is sometimes even the local Indians very confused when the debate is so heated. Local Indian call like Jagra Puja, which Jagra means fighting. It's that's oh there's monks doing the fighting puja, which is it's not really fighting, but some of you see if you know very new you can see the YouTube that's so heated and pushing each other. It's really physical kind of things, but really is it's not trying to who is right, but it's trying to trying to the collaborative to knowing to understand something. Sometimes the challenger don't know and depender also don't know. When a question just come up and then trying to understand something emerge the between to realization. So that sort of culture may be helpful, especially now the lots of the media is coming to the deep fake and then lots of the news. We have to careful to the kind of training to the analytical meditation. Yeah, this is things. So that's almost. And maybe I will say the final the point is to me is that despite the challenges so many, but my wish or I'm kind of really optimistic that ethical value system combined with the AI come up to the really something really new kind of things. I mean, we cannot believe the potential of technologies, all these things come up something good for humanity. Thank you very much.